The 2026 World Cup is just months away. I feel like I watched this masterclass just 5 minutes ago. Are we even sure that we still have 24 hours in a day? Anyways, the coming World Cup will be held in the USA, and that's not even the worst part. There will be an actual halftime show. Who even asked for this in a World Cup? So you're telling me that your country could realistically be losing 2-0 at halftime and they bring on Cardi B to twerk on the pitch?
Oh, hell no!
Just let me go take a pee while I take another beer to cool down the pressure. I'm going to rate all the World Cups that have happened in this century on a scale of 1 to 10. Spoiler alert, there's no 10 over 10.
Okay.
Let's start with the 2002 World Cup held in South Korea and Japan. I'm not going to sit here and say that I watched this World Cup. The only thing I remember from 2002 is crying after my mom dropped me in a kindergarten for the first time. I don't know what was the most weird thing about this World Cup. The fact that South Korea ran over every big dog they faced despite having the intimidation of a chihuahua, or the fact that the golden goal rule was still in use. There were 3 instances where this rule was used. Senegal kicked out Sweden in the round of 16 by scoring a golden goal, then proceeded to lose to Turkey in the quarters through a golden goal. There was plenty of drama in this World Cup. For Christ's sake, South Korea equalized in the 88th minute against Italy in the quarters and then proceeded to score a golden goal to send Italy back to Pizza Land. To cap it off, this World Cup was won by absolute legends of the game. Roberto Carlos, Cafu, Lucio, Rivaldo, the actual Ronaldo, and the guy that made me love football. They even had a teenage Kaka waiting on the bench. I'll give this World Cup a 5 out of 10, only because I didn't watch it. If I watched it, I'm sure it would have gotten a higher rating than this. The next World Cup in 2006 was back in Europe, with Germany being the host. This was my first World Cup to ever watch, although I barely remember anything but the final. Come on, I had the brains of a fat lizard. Nothing surprising happened in this World Cup in terms of results. No upsets and no big dog was kicked out of the party early. This was mainly because the quality of the big dogs in this tournament was unmatched, bro. Just look at the lineups in the Italy versus France final. France might have had prime Henry and Zidane, but the quality on this Italy team had the likes of Alessandro Nesta, Inzaghi, Del Piero, and De Rossi warming the bench. This was peak Italian football. Unlike now, where it's just a bunch of glorified mafia boys who get exposed every 4 years. You guys couldn't even beat North Macedonia to a World Cup. This World Cup was so much in need of some drama that Zidane decided to pull this UFC move on Materazzi. After all, it was the last game of his career, and getting a red card meant that retirement had just started early. I'll give this World Cup a 5 out of 10. The next World Cup in 2010 was brought to Africa. South Africa had the honors to host it. I don't think I've seen a World Cup with more excitement than this one. The whole of Africa was buzzing, and South Africa had the audacity of introducing these things to the world. I swear the next person to blow this thing next to me is getting a punch on their face. South Africa did not only give us the most horribly sounding pipes, but they also gave us the most boring champions.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Don't get me wrong, Spain in 2010 is arguably the best team in the history of the sport, but 8 goals in a whole month of football. Mbappe scored 8 goals recently in a World Cup tournament and didn't even get to lift the damn thing. This was the year that Italy dropped their first season of their World Cup failure series, despite being the reigning champions. I still don't understand how this Italian team was not executed by the mafia after this performance. Having Paraguay, Slovakia, and New Zealand in your group and still finishing last is actually criminal. France also finished dead last in their group. Thierry Henry pulled one of the biggest robberies in their qualifiers against Ireland, only to come to the World Cup and get schooled by South Africa. This was also the World Cup that used the infamous Jabulani ball. Legends know about this one. There was also this. And this.
Of the World Cup, and he hits the bar.
Yeah, I don't think Suarez is ever visiting Ghana. At least this World Cup gave us this legendary song. No, not that one. The stolen one. Oh, for pure entertainment. The country with the most World Cups got to host the next World Cup in 2014. This one started on a very high note. We had the Netherlands absolutely destroying the reigning champion Spain by 5 goals to 1. They had Van Persie taking off like a rocket to Mars. Elon Musk will be proud, by the way. Italy dropped season 2 of their World Cup failure series, and somehow England still got to do worse than them. A team I personally loved was Costa Rica. They were thrown in the group of death and somehow they came out alive. This was also the year that James Rodriguez ran riot in the World Cup. Damn, I'm never forgetting this goal.
Not by Alvaro Pereira, hit by James! Oh, what a goal!
My boy Suarez was out here moving like he about to overthrow the Dracula.
Is this allowed? What the fuck? Is that allowed?
Everyone was here for the fun and games, but there was one team who meant business. Germany came to Brazil with their focus being on the title. They started off by thrashing Portugal by 4 goals to 0 just to put a statement. That's what I'm talking about! This team proceeded to go unbeaten in the whole tournament. They met Brazil in the semis and they destroyed them, then buried them in the most remote caves of the Amazon. I don't know how Brazilians didn't go for a demonstration after this performance. To be fair, Germany had quality and they won the World Cup since they were the best team in that tournament. We also got another legendary song from this World Cup. Not that one. That one's from the last World Cup. Put your flags up in the sky. Okay, maybe not as legendary as I said. I'll give this World Cup a solid 6 out of 10. Things were back in action in Europe with Russia having the honors of hosting the 2018 World Cup. Putin's boys started off this World Cup by absolutely slaying our Saudi Arabian brothers, showing them who's the king of Eastern Europe. This World Cup had Germany violated in front of the whole world. They literally just took over from where Italy and Spain left from. Just another reigning champions out through the group stages. This World Cup gave us the most forgettable Golden Boot winner. I bet you don't remember who won it. Hurricane won it by scoring some scrappy goals. Belgium had their golden generation in this World Cup and they ran riot, only losing to France in the semis. Croatia was also one of the most experienced team and they showed it by getting to the final. Croatia was good, but there was no way they were beating this French side. Come on, they had a young Mbappe running faster than the Flash. But for me, the players who won France the World Cup were Pogba, Kante and Griezmann, not Mbappe. I don't care what anyone says. My favorite character for this World Cup was Maradona.
World Cup moment to shine has arrived.
I'll give this World Cup a 6 out of 10. The World Championship got back into action in the Middle East for the 2022 edition, with Qatar having the privilege of hosting it. I don't know what was the most weird thing about this World Cup. The fact that it was played in December, or the fact that 7 stadiums had to be constructed from scratch for this World Cup. This World Cup gave us the worst host nation in terms of footballing abilities. Our Qatari brothers were getting cooked all the way. Come on, Qatar. Even South Africa put on some fight when they hosted it. Germany released season 2 of their World Cup failure series, with Belgium's golden generation fading away like some counterfeit gold chain. Morocco put Africa on the map by being the first African country to reach the semis. Oh my God! Wow! This World Cup had Mbappe moving like prime commando. His brother was out here destroying every team he met. Messi was out here in search for the last Infinity Stone and he got it by outplaying everyone and being the player of the tournament. I know some of you are going to say it was rigged, FIFA gave Messi the World Cup. Anyone who says that, I straight up know that you did not watch any of Argentina's game. You probably didn't even watch the final. Talking about the final, this was hands down the best final the World Cup has to offer. Come on, we had a player scoring a hat-trick and still not lifting the damn thing. You would have sworn that Mary Jane was in danger, especially during the penalty shootouts. There is so much to talk about this World Cup, but for now, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Those were my ratings for the World Cups of this century. Tell me what you think about them and also give me your ratings in the comments below. Tell me where you're watching from and See you next time.